Lauren stood before the mirror, barely recognizing herself. Her short hair had just begun growing back after chemotherapy, framing her face in uneven, fuzzy strands. She ran her fingers across her scalp and turned away. Breast cancer had taken so much from her over the past 8 months. Her strength, her confidence, herself. Today was October 31st, 2024. Lauren had received the letter 2 weeks ago, an invitation to a special event for cancer survivors. She almost didn't go. What would she do there among all those people? Pretend to be strong, smile and say everything was fine? But her daughter, Emma, had insisted. 36 years old, and she was listening to a 17-year-old girl. Lauren smiled through her tears. Emma had said last night, "Mum, you've been through terrible times. You've earned this day. Please." Lauren pulled on a blue dress. It hung loose on her shoulders. She'd lost 26 pounds. In her bag lay a note from her oncologist. Remission. One word that was supposed to change everything. But Lauren felt lost. Chemotherapy had ended a month ago, and she still couldn't return to normal life. Exhaustion came in waves. Fear returned at night. Her phone buzzed. A message from the organizers. The Duchess of Cambridge will be attending the event. Lauren froze. Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, who had announced her own diagnosis in March of this year, the woman whose face had been on every screen when she told the world she was undergoing chemotherapy. Lauren sank onto the edge of the bed. Her hands were shaking. She remembered that day in March when she'd seen Kate's video message. She remembered sitting on the couch in her hospital gown after another treatment, crying. Crying because she saw in the Duchess's eyes that same confusion, that same fear, the same struggle. And now they would be in the same room. Lauren didn't know if she was ready for this. Ready to meet the woman who had become a symbol of hope for her during the darkest days. What would she say to her? What could she possibly say to a princess? But something inside told her she needed to go, needed to take this step. Because maybe, just maybe, today she would find what she'd been searching for all these months. An answer to the question, how do you move forward when cancer is behind you, but you still don't feel alive? Meanwhile, 50 miles from Lauren's home, Kate Middleton stood in her dressing room at Kensington Palace, going through dresses. She chose an emerald one, then changed her mind. Too bright. Today wasn't about her. Today was about them. The people who had been through the same thing she had. Those who had fought and won. Kate looked at her reflection and thought about the words she would say, about how important it was to be honest, not to pretend. She had finished chemotherapy just a month ago, in September. She knew what that word meant, remission. She knew it wasn't the end of the story, but a new chapter, a chapter of uncertainty. She thought about the people she would meet today, their stories, their fears, and how, perhaps, her presence would give them what she herself had needed so badly during the hardest days, the understanding that they weren't alone. Kate chose a sea blue dress. William entered the room, put his arms around her shoulders. "Are you ready?" he asked quietly. Kate nodded. She thought about a woman named Lauren, whose story she'd read yesterday in the guest list. 36 years old, breast cancer, teenage daughter, chemotherapy complete, remission. A story so much like her own. Kate rode in the car, watching October London through the window. Leaves were falling from the trees, golden and red. She thought about how her life had changed over 8 months, how she herself had changed. The car stopped at the entrance to the hall. Kate saw people behind the glass doors. They were waiting for her. She took a deep breath. William squeezed her hand. "You know what to do," he said. Kate stepped out of the car. camera flashes, smiles from attendants, but she had learned to tune out this background. She walked towards the door, thinking only of one thing: the people inside, those who understand. The door opened. Kate entered the hall, and time seemed to slow down. She saw them. Dozens of faces, women and men of different ages, some in headscarves, some with short hair, like hers once was. In every pair of eyes she saw a story: struggle, pain, hope. Kate smiled. Not the dutiful smile of a duchess, but the real smile of a woman who knew what these people had been through. Her gaze stopped on a woman by the window. Blue dress, short hair, hands nervously gripping the edge of her bag. Lauren. Kate recognized her immediately from the photo in the file. Something about this woman made her heart tighten. Maybe because she saw in her eyes what she herself felt: uncertainty, fear. The question, am I strong enough? Kate began moving through the hall. She stopped at each person, shook hands, asked questions, but her attention kept returning to Lauren. The woman stood slightly apart, as if not daring to come closer. Kate excused herself from the man she was speaking with and headed toward the window. Her steps were slow, deliberate. She saw how Lauren tensed, how her fingers gripped her bag tighter. Hello. Kate stopped a step away from her. Her voice was quiet, almost intimate. Not the voice of a princess, but the voice of one woman addressing another. Lauren looked up. Your Royal Highness. She tried to curtsy, but her legs wouldn't obey. Kate. The Duchess gently touched her hand. Just Kate. Please. Lauren nodded. She couldn't speak. A lump in her throat blocked the words. Before her stood a woman she'd seen on television hundreds of times. But now this wasn't the Duchess. This was a person, just like her, with the same shadows under her eyes, with the same quiet exhaustion in her movements. I read about you, Kate said. 8 months of chemotherapy, breast cancer. You have a daughter. Lauren blinked in surprise. You know my story? I asked them to send me the list. Kate smiled. I wanted to know who I'd be meeting, wanted to understand. She saw Lauren's eyes fill with tears, saw the woman trying to hold back, but couldn't. And then Kate did what her heart told her to do. She hugged her. This wasn't a formal embrace. This was the embrace of 2 women who had been through terrible times. Kate felt Lauren trembling in her arms, trying to hold back sobs. She held her tighter. I know, Kate whispered. I know how hard this is. I know what you're feeling. Everyone says you should be happy that it's all behind you, but you're not happy. You're scared. You're tired. You don't recognize yourself in the mirror. Lauren pulled back and looked at Kate with wide eyes. How do you know? Because I feel the same way. Kate ran her hand through her hair. It had grown back, but she remembered those months when she looked in the mirror and didn't see herself. I finished chemotherapy in September, a month ago. And you know what the hardest part is? Everyone thinks I should go back to normal life now, but I don't know what that is. Normal life. I don't know how to be who I was before. Lauren stared at her, not believing her ears. The Duchess of Cambridge, the Princess of Wales, stood before her, saying exactly the words Lauren had been too afraid to say out loud. Afraid they'd think her ungrateful, weak, not strong enough. I'm ashamed to admit this. Lauren finally managed to speak. I'm ashamed that I'm not happy. I was given a second chance. I'm in remission. But I wake up at night and check myself. Search for new tumors. I'm afraid of every call from the doctor. My daughter looks at me and sees that I'm not who I was. And I can't go back. Don't know how. Kate took both her hands in hers. This isn't shameful. This is honest. And you know what I've learned these past months? We don't have to go back to who we were. We've become different, Cancer changed us, and that's okay. It's okay to be different, okay to be afraid, okay not to know how to move forward." Kate spoke, and with each word Lauren felt something inside her begin to thaw. The ice of fear and loneliness she'd been living in for the past months was slowly melting. "But you're not alone." Kate squeezed her hands. "I promise you, you're not alone in this. And what you're feeling, it's normal. It's part of the journey to a new you, not the old one, a new one." Lauren nodded. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but she no longer tried to hide them. She looked at Kate and saw in her eyes what she'd been searching for all these months: understanding, acceptance, permission to be weak, permission to be afraid. Permission not to be the perfect survivor who joyfully returns to life. "Thank you," Lauren whispered. "Thank you for saying this." Kate smiled. In that smile was pain, but there was also hope. "We'll get through this. I don't know how long it will take, but we'll get through it. Because we've already been through the worst, and that means we can get through this too." In the following weeks, Lauren often thought about that meeting. Kate's words echoed in her head when she woke from nightmares, when she looked at herself in the mirror, when she tried to return to work and realized she couldn't concentrate. We've become different, and that's okay. Lauren started keeping a journal. She wrote about her fears, about how hard it was to accept the new her, about how her daughter tried to help but didn't know how, about how her husband looked at her warily, as if afraid she would break. She didn't know that at that same time, Kate Middleton was thinking about her. Didn't know that after that meeting, the Duchess had asked the organizers to keep her updated on Lauren's condition. Didn't know that Kate, sitting in her office at Kensington Palace, was thinking about the woman in the blue dress who had reminded her so much of herself. Kate was also waging her own internal battle. She had returned to royal duties, but each public appearance was difficult. Exhaustion came suddenly. She could feel fine in the morning and barely be able to stand by noon. "It's like a roller coaster," she told William one evening. "Not a straight line up, like everyone thinks, but endless ups and downs. And I don't know when they'll end." William hugged her. "You don't have to rush. But people are waiting." Kate pressed against his shoulder. "They want to see me strong, want to believe everything's fine. And you want to show them the truth." William knew her better than anyone. Kate nodded. She thought about Lauren, about her eyes full of fear and guilt, about how this woman blamed herself for not being able to celebrate her remission. And Kate understood. She had to do something, had to show people that the path to recovery wasn't straight, that being afraid and doubting was normal. On December 1st, 2024, Kate held her annual Christmas service at Westminster Abbey. She chose the theme, Love and Empathy, and she invited Lauren. Lauren received the invitation 2 weeks before the service. She couldn't believe her eyes. She was being invited by the Duchess, personally, to one of the most important events of the year. The letter contained simple words. "I would be happy to see you there. Kate." Lauren called the organizers. She thought it was a mistake. But they confirmed. The Duchess of Cambridge had personally added her name to the guest list. And not just any guests, special guests, those Kate wanted to honor with her attention. Emma jumped for joy. Mom, do you understand what this means? She remembers you." "She's thinking about you." Lauren hugged her daughter and cried from gratitude, from relief, from the fact that someone saw her, really saw her, not just as another survivor with a beautiful story, but as a person who was struggling, who wasn't giving up, even when it was hard. Kate also struggled during these weeks. She prepared the service, met with people, planned every detail. But at night, she lay awake thinking about whether she had the strength, whether she had the strength to hold this event, whether she had the strength to be what they expected her to be. She called Royal Marsden Hospital, where she had been treated, spoke with a psychologist. "What you're feeling is normal," the doctor told her. "Your body and psyche have been through incredible stress. Give yourself time." "But I don't have time." Kate looked out the window. "I have obligations, people, work, and you also have children," the doctor gently reminded her. "And a husband, and yourself. You also have the right to be weak." Kate thought about that conversation when she wrote the letter for the service guests. She wrote about how important it was to support each other, about how love and empathy help us in the darkest times. And she wrote about Lauren, without naming her, but describing her story. The story of a woman who had beaten cancer but was still learning to live after victory. Sometimes the biggest struggle begins after the battle is won, Kate wrote. And that's when we need support the most. Not applause and congratulations, but quiet presence. A hand that holds our hand. The words, "I understand. I'm here. You're not alone." She sent the letter to print and thought about Lauren. Thought about seeing her in 2 weeks. And somehow this gave her strength, because she knew this meeting wasn't just needed by Lauren. She needed it herself. On December 6th, 2024, Westminster Abbey filled with candlelight. Lauren sat in the third row and couldn't believe she was here. Next to her was Emma, in a new navy dress. Her daughter squeezed her hand and whispered, "Mum, did you see? The royal family is there." But Lauren only looked at the entrance door, waiting. Her heart beat so hard she could hear it pounding in her ears. And then the doors opened. Kate entered the Abbey. Red coat with black bow, hair perfectly styled, smile on her face. But Lauren saw what others didn't. She saw the slight uncertainty in her step. Saw how Kate held her breath for a second, entering the hall full of people. Saw the tension in her shoulders. Kate walked down the center aisle. She smiled, nodded to guests. Her hand was in William's, but her gaze slid across the rows, searching for a familiar face. And then their eyes met. Kate stopped. William looked at her questioningly, but she gently freed her hand. "One moment," she whispered, and headed toward Lauren. The entire hall froze. People watched as the Duchess of Cambridge left her usual route and walked to a woman in the third row. Cameras clicked, but Kate paid no attention to them. She stopped next to Lauren. "You came," she said quietly, almost with surprise, as if she hadn't been sure Lauren would accept the invitation. Lauren stood up. Her legs were trembling. "I couldn't not come." Her voice was hoarse with emotion. "After your letter. After everything." Kate smiled, a real smile that made wrinkles appear at the corners of her eyes. "I'm glad. Very glad." She turned to Emma. "And this is your daughter?" Emma nodded, unable to speak. Kate bent down to her. "Your mum is a very brave woman. I hope you know that." Emma pressed against her mother. "I know," she whispered. "I'm proud of her." Kate straightened and looked at Lauren again. And then, not thinking about protocol, about cameras, about hundreds of eyes fixed on them, she hugged her. Tightly, really, held her close, and didn't let go. She felt Lauren trembling, felt her trying to hold back tears, and Kate whispered in her ear, so quietly that no one else heard, "You're doing it. I know it seems like you're not, but you're doing it. Every day, every time you get out of bed, when you fight the fear, when you keep living, you're doing it. And I'm so proud of you. So proud of both of us." Lauren couldn't hold back anymore. Tears streamed down her cheeks. She hugged the Duchess and cried. Cried from relief, from gratitude, from the fact that someone saw her struggle, saw it and said, "You're doing well. You're managing." Kate pulled back, but her hand still held Lauren's shoulders. "Promise me." She looked directly into her eyes. "Promise you'll be kind to yourself, that you won't blame yourself for weakness, that you'll allow yourself to be imperfect." "I promise." Lauren nodded, not looking away. "I'll try. That's all we can do." Kate smiled through her own tears. Yes, she had tears in her eyes too. She didn't hide them. Try. Day by day. Step by step. She squeezed Lauren's hand once more and returned to her seat. But something had changed. There was a special atmosphere in the hall. People didn't see a duchess performing royal duty. They saw a woman who genuinely cared, who understood pain, who wasn't afraid to show her vulnerability. The service began. The choir and soloists sang. They read Kate's letters about love and empathy. And when they got to the words about a woman struggling with cancer's aftermath, Lauren understood. This was about her. Kate had written about her. And not to make her a hero, but to show others. Struggling is hard. And that's okay. That's honest. That's human. After the service, Kate approached Lauren again. She handed her a small envelope. "This is for you," she said. "Open it at home. When it's hard, when you think you're not managing." Lauren took the envelope with trembling hands. She wanted to say something, but the words stuck in her throat. Kate leaned down and kissed her cheek. "Thank you," the Duchess whispered. "Thank you for coming. Thank you for reminding me why I do all this." And she left. Lauren stood with the envelope in her hands, surrounded by people, music, candlelight. But all she felt was warmth. Warmth from Kate's touch, from her words, from her presence. At home, when Emma was already asleep, Lauren opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. "Dear Lauren, you asked me in October how to move forward. I didn't know what to answer then. I still don't know all the answers. But I know one thing. We live. Despite the fear. Despite the pain. Despite not recognizing ourselves in the mirror. We live because we have people who love us. Because we have each other. Because we've been through what many don't go through, and we survived. You're not alone. Never forget that. On the darkest days, remember, somewhere there's me, and I understand. And I'm with you." With love and hope, Kate Lauren pressed the letter to her chest and cried. But these were different tears. Not tears of despair, tears of gratitude, tears of hope. 8 months passed. August 2025 greeted London with warm sunshine and a light breeze. Lauren stood in the garden of Colchester Hospital and looked at the roses. Red, white, pink. They bloomed despite everything. Every year, again and again. She had come here as a volunteer. After that day at Westminster Abbey, something had changed inside her. She understood. She couldn't just return to her previous life, because that previous life no longer existed. There was a new one. And in this new life, she wanted to help. Wanted to be for others what Kate had been for her. Lauren worked with cancer patients twice a week. She came to the wards, sat by beds, held hands. She didn't tell them everything would be fine. She didn't promise easy victories. She was just there and said, "I understand. I've been through this, and you will too." Today there was supposed to be a special guest at the hospital. Rumours had been circulating for a week. The Duchess of Cambridge would visit Colchester Hospital. She would come to the garden, plant a rose, meet with patients. Lauren didn't know if she would see Kate. 8 months had passed since that service. 8 months during which much had changed. Kate had announced in January that her cancer was in remission. Lauren had seen that announcement and cried with joy. She had written a letter to the palace, but didn't know if it had reached her. Didn't know if the Duchess remembered her. But she kept Kate's letter. in an envelope, in her bedside table drawer. And on the hardest days, she took it out and reread it. "You're not alone." Those 3 words saved her again and again. Footsteps sounded. People began talking. Lauren turned and saw her. Kate was walking down the garden path surrounded by doctors and attendants. She wore a light sea blue dress, hair flowing in the wind, smile on her face. But Lauren again saw what others didn't: exhaustion in her eyes, caution in her movements, the struggle that continued. Kate stopped at the flower bed where she was to plant a rose. She knelt, took the seedling in her hands. Cameras clicked, people applauded. But Kate suddenly raised her head and looked toward Lauren. Their eyes met, and Kate froze. 1 second, 2. Then she smiled, a real smile that lit up her entire face. She stood, brushed the dirt from her hands, and headed straight toward Lauren. "You're here." Kate stopped before her. "I didn't know. They didn't tell me. I'm a volunteer. Lauren couldn't believe this was happening. I work with patients. For 4 months now." Kate took her hands in hers. Her hands were warm, slightly damp from the earth. "You're helping others." She said this with such pride that Lauren felt her heart tighten. "You've become the light I wrote about in the letter." "It's because of you." Lauren held her hands. "You showed me how. You gave me strength. Your words in October, your letter, all of it changed me." Kate shook her head. "No, it was you. You found the strength inside yourself. I just helped you see it." They stood in the garden, holding hands, and life bustled around them. Doctors waited, cameras filmed, people watched. But for Kate and Lauren in that moment, only the 2 of them existed. 2 women who had been through terrible times and found their way back, not to their previous life, to a new one, to a better one. "How are you?" Kate asked quietly. "Really? Not for the cameras, for me." Lauren thought. A month ago she would have lied, would have said everything was wonderful, but now she looked into the eyes of a woman who understood the truth, and she answered honestly. "There are hard days," Lauren admitted. "Days when the fear returns, when I check myself 10 times before bed, when I can't get out of bed from exhaustion. But now I know. It's normal. It's part of the journey, and I don't blame myself for it." Kate nodded. "Exactly. That's exactly what needs to be remembered." She paused, then added, "I have those days too. Yesterday was one of them. I woke up and didn't want to get up, didn't want to smile, didn't want to be strong, and William told me, 'Then don't be. Today you can be weak.'" Lauren squeezed her hands. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for telling me this. Thank you for staying honest. We must be honest." Kate smiled. "With each other. With those going through the same thing. Because only honesty gives real hope. Not fake joy, but honesty about how hard it is, and that we're managing despite everything." One of the attendants quietly coughed. Time. Kate had to move on. Meetings with patients, photos, duties. But before releasing Lauren's hands, Kate leaned in and whispered, "Keep doing what you're doing. Keep helping. You can't imagine how important your work is. How important what you give these people is. Presence, understanding, hope." "I will," Lauren promised. "I promise." Kate kissed her cheek and moved on, but she turned several times, looked at Lauren, smiled. And Lauren understood. This connection that had formed between them in October last year hadn't disappeared. It had grown stronger. It had become something more than a meeting between a duchess and an ordinary woman. It had become a bond between 2 souls who had been through the same experience and understood each other without words. That evening, Lauren sat at home with Emma and told her about the meeting. Her daughter listened with wide eyes. "Mom, do you understand what happened?" Emma took her hand. "You've changed. You've become someone others will talk about the way you talked about the Duchess. You've become hope for someone." Lauren hugged her daughter. 8 months ago, she couldn't have imagined this moment. Couldn't have imagined sitting here, in her home, feeling peace. Not complete happiness. Not absence of fear, but peace. Acceptance. Understanding that life continues, that it doesn't continue in a straight line, but in waves, ups and downs, good days and bad. But it continues. And somewhere in Kensington Palace, Kate Middleton also sat with her family. She was telling William about meeting Lauren, about how this woman had become a volunteer, how she was helping other patients. "You gave her that," William hugged his wife. "You showed her the way." "No," Kate shook her head. "She showed it to me. She reminded me why I do all this, why I fight, why I continue when I want to give up." She looked out the window at nighttime London. Millions of lights, millions of lives, and somewhere out there, in this huge city, Lauren lived and helped others, lived and continued to fight, lived and proved every day, "We're stronger than we think." Kate smiled. She thought about the letter she had written to Lauren 8 months ago. "You're not alone." Those words had proven true not only for Lauren, they had proven true for her as well. Because in this struggle, in this journey toward healing, they truly weren't alone. They were together. 2 women, 2 stories, 2 paths, but one hope, one faith, one understanding. Life after cancer is possible. It won't be the same, but it will be. And it will be beautiful. In its own way, in a new way. And the roses in the garden of Colchester Hospital continued to bloom. Kate had planted a white rose today, a symbol of hope, a symbol of new beginnings. And when years from now someone asks why this rose is here, they'll tell a story. Not about a duchess who came and planted a tree, but about 2 women who met at the darkest moment of their lives and gave each other what was needed most: understanding, support, permission to be imperfect, permission to struggle, permission to live. This story is based on real events and Kate Middleton's meetings with cancer patients in 2024 and 2025, including her visit to Colchester Hospital on July 2nd, 2025, and the Christmas service at Westminster Abbey on December 6th, 2024. The main character's name, Lauren Barnes, has been changed to protect privacy.